Episode of
SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Maria.
And I'm Deb.
And welcome. Here we are. Talking
Again.
About the dreaded R.
Yeah, I don't dread it though. Neither of us dread it.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be the title of our episode, I don't think.
Really?
Will you want it to be?
Well, it seems
How
like
about it's what are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Or, let's get our R on.
Or ARG.
ARG, like the pirate. I'm not into the pirate thing either.
I'm not into the pirate thing either, but I don't know. I just said it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
to bounce the idea off of you.
We have at least a half an hour until we have to name this episode,
right.
So maybe the name will organically come to us.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we have lovely wine, not
Prosecco.
and some cheese.
Maria keeps being like, I manifested us wine, and I'm like, great, but then sometimes it's trash.
That's right. So, what you have to learn is when you manifest, you have to be specific. I want to manifest good tasting wine.
Right.
So, what are we drinking? We have this Cinzano Prosecco.
Much better with ice cubes in it.
Yes, right. So we messed up. We did not chill it before drinking it, so that was not good. So it has taste of like apple and pear in it, and it's an Italian wine. It's sparkling, and it was actually first produced in Santa Vittorio de Alba for the Savoy King Charles Albert. I don't know all that stuff of what that means, but that's what it says here.
Oh.
So
just some light reading for when you're drinking with your gal pals.
Right. This is a light wine that was made in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have to say that when I drank it, I did not like it. But when I tasted it with the salty Greek feta that I have, which is from goat's cheese. It's a goat
from goat milk?
Cheese. Yeah, goat milk. Goat cheese feta.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but I just think because I like the cheese. And I'm not into that. I feel like the wine needs to be good, and so does the cheese.
Right, but maybe the wine would have been better if it was like a duller wine, since it was such a like potent cheese. It was just like very salty, very sweet.
Yes.
And now I have a little bit of a bellyache, but I think I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
I also had like 4 pickles and like 3 pepperoncini and like, I don't know, 8 or 12 not olives.
Right. 8 or 12. It
8 or 12
has
around
to be
there.
An even number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to vote sink it for this wine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I usually like the bubblies, but this is too sweet.
This is way too sweet, so I'm going to probably just switch to water. That's how terrible.
Right.
So
yeah, we're out on the wine.
Yes.
I'm ultra blonde now. I'm like platinum blonde. I'm like, look at me, I'm Sandra D.
Oh, I was not brought up that way.
That's that song, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I knew that. I did. I am a Grease fan.
Good, yeah, I love Grease.
Yes.
I mean, I only watched the movie, though. I wasn't, like, in a play or anything.
Right. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But it's a good movie.
I
have a game.
Playing,
yeah, I have a
you
game
have a
for
game
us.
for me.
And this game I decided to call What Are You Talking About?
Oh, okay.
And in this game, there's going to be 7 questions, and all of the answers are words that start with the letter R.
Wow.
So it's going to be R in the initial position of words. I did not pick simple words because I think that I was actually, when I like typed in R words, I think it was like a Scrabble website, so it gave me like really challenging R words.
Gotcha.
But then I went down, like not the ones that are 11 letters, like less than 11 letters.
Whoa, okay.
But no.
So, alright, should also be like, how smart is Maria?
I think that, there's her vocalic R there in the medial position, right?
Thank you.
So, no, these are all words that range in different lengths and complexities. Number 1. What R word means violent, uncontrolled anger?
Rage.
Very good.
Yes.
Number 2. What R word means to achieve or fully understand?
To achieve or fully understand.
Is to what?
Reach. To receive. To receptive. Realize?
Realize.
Okay.
Look, you realize the answer is realize.
Right, I needed that phonemic cue there.
Good. Okay, number 3. To create a new version of a song.
Oh, remix.
Yeah. There you go. To reuse material by converting it into something new. Yes. Number 5. Taking something that does not belong to you.
We're not stealing, right? So
No.
robbery. And then it could be armed robbery.
There you go, if there's a gun, right?
Right.
A distilled alcoholic drink made from sugar cane.
Rum.
Yes. And the last one is to talk at length in a confused or inconsequential
Ramble.
way. Ramble. Look, you did it.
I did it.
That was like 100% accuracy.
Thank you, Deb.
Well done.
Thank you.
And it was only mild cues. Like
Right.
I had only one initial phonemic cue.
That was good.
Yeah.
So I was told not to use mild, moderate, severe, to rather just say
Yeah. I
one
don't know.
cue out of 5. I know.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Right.
No one said anything to me so far. Ever.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
So we want to talk about articulation, or however you want to call it, speech sound. Oh my gosh, here we go. Speech sound disorders.
It's Maria's first time.
So this can entail that children and adults have difficulty saying sounds clearly. So whether you want to call it articulation impairment, and that could be from a motoric issue, an anatomical issue, or an injury.
Right.
So
or perception.
Right, like a hearing loss.
Yeah.
Right, hearing.
But yeah, there's so many different reasons why somebody might mispronounce their sounds.
Right.
And R is a rather tricky sound to
Yes.
produce to begin with because you don't get that much like biofeedback visually from other speakers.
Uh-huh.
And I always like to use this as an example. Like, there's so many songs that we think we know all the words to, and we
Right.
try to sing along, and we're like kind of close but wrong.
Right.
But meanwhile, we're like, we're living our life, we're happy,
Yeah.
we're singing, no
Right.
one's bothering us. We
Right.
know what we're singing.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
shake it off, shake, shake. You know,
Isn't that
someone
the-
told me
that
it was
is-
like they thought it was chicken roll,
Chicken
chicken
roll.
roll.
That person lied to you.
Yes, that's what they thought it
Chicken
said.
roll.
And I was like, why would Mariah Carey be singing about a chicken roll?
Oh, I thought you were
shake,
talking about
shake,
Taylor
shake it.
Swift.
Oh, you know Mariah
shake,
Carey,
shake,
it
shake,
off,
shake it off.
shake, shake.
Maybe she sounds
With
like
them
chicken
all at
roll.
the same, and we keep up that one. Anyway.
Yeah, see, look, you don't even know the words.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
my
even-
point.
Right,
So, like,
exactly.
sometimes kids are saying stuff, and they know what they're saying, and they're just going with it because it sounds good to them, and they don't notice the difference, and they keep it up. Just like if you try to pronounce something in another language, you might think that you sound awesome, and then a native speaker might tell you otherwise. Right?
Correct. Yeah,
So
you
I
got
do
it.
think that the first thing that we need to do with this population is discrimination task and bring it to their attention, like the sound that they're producing and the target sound that we would like them to produce.
Yeah.
Why? I'm gonna turn your phone
I'm
off.
sorry.
If you're calling Maria, you need to stop.
Sorry.
It's like
I'm very
insane.
popular today.
Why? Stop talking to so many people. You probably leave these people on red and they try to answer you back and then you're missing.
Leave them on red.
That means like you saw their text and you didn't
Oh,
respond.
I don't have a read receipt. Who has that? I don't need people knowing I read it and I didn't want to write to them.
Why not?
Because.
Well, it's the truth.
I don't like the truth then.
Okay.
So, Asha has a statement, right? About.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Right.
That a speech pathologist will do if your child just so happens to have
Right.
a issue with saying their sounds correctly.
Right,
Clearly.
so what we're trying to say is articulation disorders are in our scope of practice, where we're helping that client say the sound correctly, and learning to tell when the sounds are right or wrong. And Deb and I agree on that. I agree with what you said about the first step being perception.
Yeah.
So how do you work on perception, if you want to give us a tip?
Well, okay, so I have a
advice?
little anecdote before I do what I do.
Oh,
So,
okay.
if you know, do you know who Michelle Wolf is?
Should I?
Well, she's a stand-up comedian.
Okay, so
and
no.
she did the.
I thought it was like some
no.
SLP researcher
No.
that I have to know about.
No.
I got nervous.
She's a comedian. She just did the White House Correspondents' Dinner comedy act. And she just ended it for all comedy moving forward. Apparently, no more comedians are going to do that. And it's been a tradition for a long time.
Why?
A comedian she roasted everyone, and it was a bit rough for them.
Okay.
She was very good. I thought she was great. So anyway, I was hanging out with Michelle Wolf the other day, and she talked to me. She was like, "Oh, I don't know if I told you that I went to a speech pathologist when I was younger. I used to switch my K's to T's."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, it's fronting. It's a very normal thing for a young child to do. And it's just like, if it persists past the developmental age, that's
3.
when you have to intervene." And she was older than 3. And she
Right.
had a bike that was in the shed.
Right.
And the shed was locked with a key.
Right.
So she went to
her
her mom.
I know where this is
and
going.
she was like, "Mom, I want to ride my bike, but I need the tea."
Yeah.
So her mom went to go make her tea.
Right.
And then she's like, "I need the tea. I want to ride my bike."
Right.
And then her mom was like, "This is confusing. We need to work on it." So then
Right.
she sent her to a speech therapist.
Got
and
it.
Michelle remembers going, and she's like, "It only took me like a couple times for someone being like, 'Oh, this is what you're doing and this is what you need to do,' for me to be like, 'Oh, okay.'"
Right. Yes.
And she got it.
Good.
And I feel like that's what I feel like is the case in a lot of cases. So
Right.
R is trickier because it is a harder sound to produce than when we're messed up with we're doing fronting.
Right. Visually, like you mentioned, but also why? Why can't I didn't have a lot
You need
of
to
why.
relax.
I know. And then
That's your R word.
It's
Relax.
and R.
Yeah.
So
She,
my R
she
word
giggles
is-
when she's nervous.
So, anatomically speaking, too, your tongue has to move up, really,
Right.
and it takes that big muscle movement. So,
Yes.
also that reason, too.
Yeah, so if there's any sort of
So-
deficit in terms of like muscle strength and
Right.
coordination, whether it's like dysarthria or apraxia,
Right.
it's a harder sound to produce because it requires more intentional motor
Right.
movement.
Okay.
And like tongue elevation is one of the number one indicators of dysphagia not number one, but it was when I was learning about the Yale swallow protocol.
Oh.
That's
okay.
why, like, for the oral motor aspect of it, like looking at how if they're able to elevate their tongue
Yes.
and how long they can sustain that
Oh, okay.
is a good indicator. Just an indicator, nothing crazy. Don't go making people swallow stuff just because they can stick their tongue at you.
Right.
But it's but many people who struggled with tongue elevation were likely
We're
to
more
have
likely.
dysphagia.
Got it.
Yes.
So there's a correlation there.
Yes.
Got it.
So what do I like to do? I like
Yes.
poems and minimal pairs.
Well, okay, right. Okay, so I was going to talk about the perception of ours, but I can go back to that.
Oh, okay.
How I have the child, like the first couple of sessions, I would write the letter R and say, like, this is the sound we're going to work on. And then I'll pick, like, maybe 5 words, like red, whatever they are, just R in the initial position. And then I say them, and then they get to tell me if I said it right, with a thumb up, pair it with a visual, or wrong, thumbs down. So I'm going to say, okay, ready, my turn to say the word, or even if it's a game, let's say, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to say a word, and you're going to tell Miss Maria if I said that right or wrong, and I pair it with my thumb up, thumb down, and then they get that pretty quickly. So I'm like, wed, did I say this color, wed, the right way? And they're like, no, that was wrong. You know, I was like, oh, it was wrong, and then I'm not really requiring them to say right or wrong.
Right.
But I'm giving
you're
them
repeating it so that they can hear the correct
right.
version.
But I am giving them the opportunity to say an R word right and wrong. So I work on perception that way. That's my tip.
That's good.
Thank
One of the first things I'll do is I'll take their picture and I'll be like, make a smile.
Right.
And then I'll be like, now make a kissy face.
Right.
Okay, so then for the smile face, I'll go to Photoshop and put an R under their mouth.
Oh,
Where
okay.
they smiled. And then for the kissy face, I'll put a W under their mouth.
And
And then they'll have those visuals on the table.
oh, great.
And then I'll be like, make a smile face. Let me see the R face. Let me see the W face. Let me see the R face. And then we just like keep doing like R face, W face, which is fun.
That's a lot of faces.
Yeah, we like go back and forth, and I do it real quick, and then maybe I'll do the same one twice in a row, trip them up, then they laugh. It's good time.
Good. Nice.
And then I just, in all of my therapy, and I know that it is like, I'm pretty sure it's research based, but I don't
Pretty
ever
sure.
do wrong or right for anything. Does that sound right or wrong?
Right.
Thumbs up or thumbs down. Because I guess I get fearful of anyone having a negative self-image.
Right. Well, they're saying it to me.
Right, but then you are mimicking what they're doing and then making them say it's wrong, thumbs down.
Right.
So, which, I don't know. It's probably fine. Maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion.
Maybe.
I was a sensitive kid, and if somebody gave me a thumbs down at something I said, I'd be like, I'm not coming back here.
Right.
I don't want to do this.
But they just are telling me, try that, that was wrong. And then I'll do it again. And I was like, I said it the right way, and they get a kick out of it, I think, when I'm saying it wrong. Like, I get to tell the teacher she did it wrong, and like it's okay to make a mistake.
I think it just makes me uncomfortable.
All right.
So it's like if something makes you uncomfortable, there are so many people who are like, step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes stay there. Things are fine there.
Right.
Things are working there.
I'm all about stepping outside the comfort zone. But, I mean, if I'm going to see the kids start crying, like, Miss Maria said I'm wrong, like, I'm going to obviously
stop.
You're going to
stop, yeah.
You could always tell, like, they start, like, a lip quiver, they're like, okay, they're upset. But so far I haven't had that overly sensitive clients.
Right. Maybe I'm overly sensitive.
Maybe.
We were learning a lot about ourselves in this episode. Right. You can't speak when you're nervous, and I'm overly sensitive.
I'm not nervous about this episode, by the way. Just nervous about life. That's all. Anywho, so we want to go into different activities within the R sounds. So, for instance, what is your favorite book to work on the R sounds?
Well, what are you looking for right now?
I'm looking for my
You're
notes.
just throwing papers all around.
There they are. Okay. There they are.
Well, I don't use books for R.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like I want drill.
Okay.
And a book is like, I would use a book for like phonemic awareness and fluency and comprehension, but for R, no. I'll do color by sound, so it's like read the word and color the words that have R in it red, color the words that have or in it orange, color the words that have in it yellow, like that one that I'm looking at on my wall. So we'll do like color by sound activities or minimal pairs.
Gotcha.
And then, so the longest thing I will do in terms of reading for R articulation would be a poem.
I see. I mean, that's a good idea, and I like minimal pairs in the beginning, but I do like to work on R in books only because to just like keep incorporating literacy and also like at the phrase level, and then we could talk about the book and do a craft with the book and do an activity with the book. So, I mean, I always like to do books. I feel like
books are good.
Books are good, right?
I'm not against books.
You can't go wrong with a book.
Right,
like, you're not going to do a book and then, like, a parent's going to be like, you read a book with my kid, you know?
No. No, I just feel like I have so many, like, I like coloring activities and, like, sorting activities, and I like to use books, but not for this.
Gotcha. Also, if you don't want to use books in your therapy session, you could also recommend that for a carryover activity. So if mom's like, what can I do? Like, you can recommend this book that I like. We're going on a bear hunt that has a lot of R in there. Mm-hmm. So even if this child or the client is reading the R, is listening to that book at home every day for a week, that I feel like is great. And that's just, showing the parent, like, okay, this is something that you can do, like putting it back on them,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right.
We're at our halfway point.
Okay.
I can do without their timer today because I just feel like, why not? Let's step outside the comfort zone.
Okay.
So, plus my phone already annoyed you today, so I'm just going to leave my phone over there. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
At SLP's Wine and Cheese Pod _ between each word. I tag myself and Deborah in those posts.
Right. Deborah Brooks, Maria Katonis.
Yes.
You'll find us.
You'll find us. We're there.
Mm-hmm.
And check out our Patreon page. We have a special episode coming out with Miss Emily Diaz.
That's already up right now.
Oh, it's up right now. Yes, that's right.
That's motherhood, marriage, motherhood, and faith.
Yes. So we talk about those things uncensored.
Right.
And then we have videos, what would you do with that, coming out. And we have our R poems on there, which we will share.
We each wrote an R poem.
I'm not proud of my R poem, so yes. And don't forget, we still have blah, blah, blah shirts. We have very limited amount left, so hurry up and message us if you want them.
Yes.
Yes. So, do you want to go into the poems? Should
I
go first? Because yours is going to be good.
Before the poems, though, I feel like you're rushing me.
Okay.
Okay, so first I just like, so I like how you said the thing about the books because then you're going to get like sentence level and stuff. But I like working with the minimal pairs and like getting a lot of those in.
I think you just like talking about minimal pairs.
I do, but I didn't get to say exactly why. So like you recommended the bear hunt, but like at this point this kid has heard the R sound a lot of times and said it, and now I think we're just constantly practicing it incorrectly.
Okay.
But when we pair the correct sounds with the error sounds and we have an individual being able to like say that to them and like monitor their repetition of it, now I think that's like increasing their awareness of that sound. So I like to do like one, run, weed, read, white, right,
wed, red.
Yeah. And I'll do like 25 minimum. Yeah. And we'll do that back and forth. So I'll be like, one run, here's a piece of a Lego. Whale rail, here's another piece of a Lego. Right. Or I'll do 4 on one page. Okay. So every time so like let's say I have a page that has 4 minimal pairs on it.
Right, and is this your book?
Yeah. I have, but then I also have the speeching musings and another person's minimal pairs that have been working for me just fine, so I had no reason to redraw. Right. But basically, it's like I do a page, I give them a piece. I like to buy, the only toys that I buy for speech are things that are like parts of a whole. Right. Or things that can be built or added to. So that like, so maybe they start off with a potato head, but then like they get one page done and I give them the eyes. Right. You know? So then that's how I incorporate like an activity into it. It's just like drill and then like they get something. I don't even care if they're looking at my page so much, but I do care if they're looking at my face if they're repeatedly saying it wrong. So I'll be like, look at me, smile face, rake, wake, rake. And I'll do it like, I'll over-articulate.
Yes, I got a little scared there.
And I'll try to get them to increase their mindfulness. So like, I'll say to them that like, you know, sometimes when we're talking, we don't even think about what we're saying. We just know what we want to say and we say it. And sometimes when we think like that, we don't say all the sounds. So when we're in speech, I want you to do something different. Just something different than what you would do if you were just usually saying butter. So instead of saying butter, I want to hear butter. Just to practice it. And we practice like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think it also depends on what stage of therapy they're in. Like, I like to do minimal pairs as well. And, like, they're definitely good in the beginning. And they're definitely good to maintain and keep it as a drill. But I like to, like, do a little drill and then, like, something to kind of, like, carry over everything we just, like, talked about in the drill.
That's what I would use the poem for. Because then we can read the same poem over and over again, whereas a story will just take up a longer block of time. Right. But, I mean, you know, to each their own. I think that everyone should just do what works best for them. Right. And stop trying to be something they're not.
Exactly. And if you're not into doing books, then you don't have to do books. Yeah. I did bear hunt. I have it, like... I do it usually in the winter time because like the bears hibernate and stuff. So maybe that's something they're learning about in school, even as early as like preschool. They're like learning all these crazy concepts. You know, the seasons, right? Oh, it's the winter. What happens in the winter? And then I put like little like bear paws around the room, and they had to like find the different paws, and underneath the paw was like different R words from the story. Oh, that's great. So it's like, oh, bear, under, can't go under it. Can't. So just like something like that.
That's great. That's fun.
Thanks. Yes. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I just,
and, you know, sometimes you gotta switch up the routine of like the words just.
Yeah, like, I never really switch that routine up too much. Okay. But then I'll be like, if you keep doing it, we're gonna play with slime.
Right. Yeah, so then they just get a reinforcement at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. But it's sometimes I'll do it like that too, especially in the beginning. Like, we just really need to hammer in this sound. Right. And now, like, maybe we're moving on to TH sound and we're, like, still working on R, but, like, this is when I'll introduce a book. So it's like, oh, I know there's a million thes in here, but there's also an R too. That's also your sound, you know, don't forget.
Right, yeah. So do you have them, like, highlight the words?
Highlight? Well, I don't write in my books.
Oh, sorry.
That's a no-no. That is a no-no.
Okay.
But, you know, we could write the word on the back of the paw print.
Okay. Right, but, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Yes. You should have seen Maria's face when I just suggested writing in her book.
It's like, telling them, do you want them to just mix the Play-Doh too? Like, no.
I just buy only one color Play-Doh.
Yes, you're right.
But then what if in your book you colored all the R's pink and all of the S's green? So then it's like, doesn't matter that it's colored because each sound is colored the same color. So now it's like your book's color coded.
Okay. You know what? I can handle that. But I also get a lot of my books from the library.
Oh, right,
so
yeah.
I own the Bear Hunt book, so that I got it from the yard sale. But most of them I get from the library.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you don't want to write in those.
Right.
But nobody would know. You just put it in a slot.
That is true.
But then I'm sure, like, karma would come get you.
Yes, I don't want that.
No.
So, do you want to go into our poems? Or
yeah, let's hear your poem. No, I said what I wanted. I said my piece.
Okay, great. Minimal pairs. Yes. So, I'm not proud of this poem. It's not my best work.
Didn't anyone ever tell you not to give negative disclaimers? Just go out there and say it.
All right, well.
This is my poem by Maria Katonis.
Poem, and it's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, starts like this. Here we go.
It starts like this. I thought it ended like this.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to say it backwards.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be better that way. Like, what is that movie, Momentum, where it starts backwards?
Oh, yeah, I think it does start in the ends, right?
Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's the R sound. I read, write, and scream it out loud. Where did my tongue go? It's up. Where do my lips go? They are back. Hear me roar. R, hear it. I can practice my R everywhere.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So I didn't take that same approach. Yours is good. It's not bad.
Mine is like
yours is like directions.
Yes, it is.
I just tried to use.
Right.
I tried to have at least 10 words that would target R in all different positions.
That's good.
But I have more than 10
data on it. I'm hoping I have more than 10 too.
I'm sure you do. You sounded like you had like 10 in one line. So I think you do.
The roar line. Okay, go ahead.
So here's my poem. I didn't title it.
Okay.
But it goes like this. Once there was a red fairy, her world was dark and scary. There were storms with rain and thunder, and every day she'd wonder, how does a flower grow? Where do the rivers flow? Will I ever see the sun? When will the storms be done? Then one day on a ruby she made a wish for a place much happier than this. When she woke up, her wish was true. Now every day the sky is blue.
Okay, I was thinking of how emo is Deb.
Oh yeah, that's very
when
emo.
When will the fairy see the river and the sun?
Well, because I was thinking of she was in a dark, scary world, but it wasn't until she decided to advocate for herself and make that wish to make that change. And as soon as she did, her world changed.
So she manifested.
I think
free wine, free tasting good wine.
Right. Yeah. Are you? Yeah, okay. I like my poem.
No, I love your poem. It was excellent. It just brought me back to that episode. That episode's on our Patreon.
Yes,
check it out.
Is. That when I was reading all my high school poetry.
Yes. So no, that was very good.
Yeah, and then we would go through and highlight all the different R's, and then maybe we would have like different colors for each vocalic R.
Yes,
and then
I like that.
We would like really focus on. We would say this poem every day until we recited it.
Okay.
And we're fluent, so that they had so maybe because this person could also have a goal for recalling details with a distinct beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
Or recalling events and stories and poems.
Right.
With appropriate detail and sequence.
Vocabulary words.
Vocabulary.
Right.
Yeah.
Relating self to text.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe there was a time you felt trapped. I don't know. Like a
Like
snow day.
identifying. Yeah. So
like
being able to interpret figurative language at that point. So what did it mean? What type of emotions do you associate with storms, and what type of emotions do you associate with sunshine? I don't know. There's tons of things you could talk about.
Yeah,
that's why I like poems, because there's a deeper meaning there.
Cool.
And there was lots of R's.
Right.
There was R blends, vocalic R, R in the initial position.
At the superficial level,
yes.
At least there were R's there. And then if you want to get deeper and deeper into this poem interpretation, there are so many things you could do from that.
Yes.
Great. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Thanks.
So, do you want to give a tip?
I think this whole episode was tips and tricks. I can give this tip that it's going to take a long time to get the sound corrected, and it's very important to remain calm and patient, and also repeatedly provide like visual cues, so over exaggerating your lip posture in the initial stages so that this child can see like they are neutralizing that sound and it all is becoming a W.
Right. And not raising their tongue, most likely.
Right, yeah. So, like, really get that tongue moving and their lips moving. So, I always say smile face for the R face and kissy face for the W. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be like, oh, if they make a mistake, I'll be like, oh, is that an R face or a W face? And then they're like, rake. And
right.
They fix it.
Right. My tip is to also think about the surrounding sounds that you're teaching R with. So, like, if you want to teach, I feel like vocalic R is harder and, like, OR is harder or
See,
R-O.
I was just saying, sometimes like, OR is good. Sometimes really? OR is good.
Right.
And then is bad.
Right.
You know, like, so sometimes in vocalic R, like, some are good and some are more difficult.
Right. So I think you should look into that and just try to shape your like words around that a little bit. Like even if you could, like if you're not going to drive yourself nuts to do it.
Right.
Like if you're noticing like through poems.
Right.
Or as they're spontaneous, like oh, it's really like R when it's around these other words. So like maybe start with the easier ones first and then slowly introduce the surrounding sound, like the more difficult surrounding sounds.
Yeah.
So, but
what are more difficult surrounding sounds? Those are like difficult neighbors.
Yeah, usually R and O. I think anything that will like have to have them like to use to round their lips,
because then it's gonna like.
Right. Yeah.
But then sometimes I don't know why I feel like sometimes the or sounds good, like horn and horn. Yeah, sometimes it does. And then I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, well then maybe that's not an example. But
yeah. No, but it is a good example. Yeah. It's just when I was listening to you, I was thinking almost the same thing. How like some of them can be better than others, and you were just like, or is usually the most complicated for me, and I was just, you know.
Not for you? Okay.
I mean, I just feel like more often I feel like or and it's like air and ire, and ear. Oh. I'll be like, pull your tongue back to your ear.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Yeah, I do. Good. And then they're like, what are you talking about?
I've also recorded them. So I'm giving 2 tips. If my first tip wasn't helpful because, maybe you have a client who's like doing like some crazy stuff that you're not sure, you can try videotaping them or audio recording them and like have them listen to themselves. That's like such a big thing I do with all my kids, and they like it too.
Yeah. Whenever I record my videos in speech, I'm always chasing kids out of my video, which I'm like, don't you know this would be better Instagram content for me if you were in this video?
Right.
Like, if I was allowed to have you in this video, you'd be the star, but you can't.
Right.
So I'm like, move.
Yeah.
But they're like, can I see it? Can I see it? And I'm like, you're not in it. They're like, I want to listen. So they all want to do it. They like it.
So if you just record it for them and then like, okay, I tell them like, don't worry, no one's gonna see it because I think they get shy sometimes. But we have different type of kids, so
yeah.
But
I record their faces like for their school.
Gotcha.
Like their teachers and their parents and them. They can.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. Educational purposes. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna end with our quote, and it is we. Thought of it would be great for the R sound, especially when you're working. If you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. And it's from Thessalonians 3:13.
In the Bible.
That's right.
Emily Diaz rubbed off on us.
Yes. There we go. I have been swearing more since that episode.
Well, she said that she loves Jesus, but she likes to cuss too.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. All right. On that note, thank you for tuning in. I'm Maria.
I'm Deborah.
Thank you. Good night.
Arrivederci.
Hey everyone.
Just kidding. We're back.
We're back for more R. No, I'm just kidding. So our Asher interviews are great, but the audio quality is not the best. So we're going to release them on the Patreon where hopefully it's not so painful to listen to.
Exactly. Also, if you remember recording an interview with Maria at ASHA, please email us at slpswineandcheese@gmail.com. We will redo that interview over Zoom on the computers. so then we can have better quality. So I know that many people have been writing to us, looking forward to hearing their interviews. You can hear the original awful version on our Patreon, or you can do a redo if you email us. So please do so.
Yes, slpswineandcheese@gmail.com. Thank you. Again.
Bye.
Bye.